Good evening, everybody. Mac is frozen already, and that is the kind of night we're having to get started here. Nope, now he's back. He's
Am I back?
a little shaky, little fuzzy.
Here I am. Can you at least hear me? Maybe I'll go on camera.
I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I'm sure the video will get better as we go. But hey, we got to get started here. We got a show to do. And there's at least two people watching.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting experiment. We see people we get and which team they are a fan of. Because Voice of College Football, Michigan Football is doing their call-in show tonight, not tomorrow.
You're chopping all over the place, cutting in and out. But
jeez.
Can you hear me okay?
Here's what we're going to do. Just fine.
I got a question for you.
All
so
right.
I heard a rumor from one of our commenters that you have a mullet. But what I also want to know is, along with the mullet, which you're rumored to have, are you also going to bring back the Hawaiian shirt and the fanny pack?
Oh boy, man, that fanny pack has been sitting in my closet since 1998. I am so excited to bring it back very soon. Just wait.
All right. Here, let's get going here. We're ready to go. Good
job by J.J. McCarthy. Take the handoff. Alec Manis is going to throw a pick. They give it to Cora. Up back. Cora. Touchdown, Wolverine. Roman Wilson does it again. 4 points of daylight. He's got some speed and some blocker. Outside. Turns the corner. Blake Cora down the sideline. Looking over the middle. Caught. Touchdown, Wolverine. McCarthy extends the play, now using legs. McCarthy at first down.
So you're right.
There we go.
Michigan football, the Voice of College Football, is doing their live stream right now as we speak.
Yes.
Which normally they do on Thursdays. We have this unspoken gentleman's agreement that we do our show Wednesday, they do their show Monday and Thursday. Or no, we do our show Wednesday, they do their show Tuesday and Thursday. We've just been doing that for a while now. I think what we should do is we should spend the entire show hitting up the chat on their show and telling people to come watch our show. We could cut in theirs and do a simulcast. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, why not? Let's see. They're talking about. Do you want to just start commenting on what they're talking about?
Yeah, comment over there. What the heck are you doing with a live stream on tonight? All right, everybody. But then we're probably going to be talking about what?
Buckeyes Battle Cries in the chat. At least.
Buckeyes Battle Cries in the chat. Thank you very much, Buckeyes Battle Cry, for being here. We appreciate it. Bugsy's daddy was also out there at one point, but he's not there now. Here's Buckeyes Battle Cry. What's up, guys? Well, as you probably just heard, we're now in a live stream battle with Michigan football at the Voice of College Football, which I'm sure they know nothing about unless somebody's telling them right now.
Tree Dog's over there. He just said hi.
Right here. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ask him what he's doing there when he should be over here.
I know.
We do have a poll going on for all of those that are watching out there. We're asking the question: should Connor Stalions, the man from the West? No, Connor Stallions. Should Connor Stallions talk more, i.e., defend himself, or is it e.g., or should he stop talking? So that's the poll: keep talking or stop talking. I don't know how many votes are in there right now. 6 votes already. Nice, and it's 67% keep talking. And there could be different reasons for talking or not talking, right? Some people might want him to talk to, because he is just destroying, the opposition. Other people might want him to talk because they think he's destroying himself, but, burying himself and that kind of thing.
Rob's asking to come on. I'm assuming that's Rob.
Rob, is that you? Rob, if you're the one out in the chat, you want to come on? Hey, maybe we could do that. We could have a little call-in show here. We're going to talk Connor Stallions. I'm sure you love to talk about. Yeah, I thought they did their call-in show on Thursday. So did we. But apparently something has changed. So we may have to change ours.
DDR said that they didn't want to miss the Lions versus Chargers tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Preseason is starting because we all know how important preseason is to the Lions.
It's not even the preseason. It's just a Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame game. Oh, my goodness.
This is why we need to expand beyond Michigan, is because literally our entire audience is watching their channel.
Well.
Which is really funny.
Thanks for being here. Appreciate you watching. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could watch like both at the same time. It might be kind of hard to do, but
that's what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. So he says, I'll come and talk about Stallions with you guys. I have some interesting takes. All right. Hang out there, Rob. I'm assuming this is Rob. It is Rob.
It is. It's Rob.
I said right there. It's Rob. Hang on. We'll get to that. We're going to do a couple other things here, and then I will send you the link. And I've got everything covered up here. So for everybody in the chat, thank you for hanging out with us. Appreciate that. Let us know in the chat. You know what? I usually don't ask a lot of questions of people in the chat. At least I don't think I do. Maybe I do. I try not to get too, silly. I'm not trying to come up with things just so you guys will put stuff in the chat. But I'm not above coming up with things just so you guys will put stuff in the chat. So let us know what your favorite team is. Who do you root for? What's your favorite rivalry? That kind of thing. That was actually 3 questions. Pick one. Just answer one of those.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could Chuck Norris? That's what I really want to know.
How much wood would Chuck Norris chuck?
That's what I just said.
You said something much different than that.
Okay.
We have 1,901 subs as of today. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. Really appreciate it. We also have the memberships, as you can see on the ticker below. I have added in all of the new memberships that we got because Blue Wolverine gifted like 20 of them last week. They're only 99 cents. They do help us out. I think it's not even just a financial thing. It helps out the reach of the show so we can bring in more people because we love to talk football and we love to have fun talking about football. We're, kind of a clean show. We're a fun show. We get a little out of hand sometimes, but not, anything beyond family friendly. So, you can watch it with your kids, which to me is because that's my kid right there. You're watching this stuff with your kids. Anyway, it's nice to be able to do that. You don't have to plug their ears at certain times, whatever. But anyway,
that really depends on who we have on, doesn't it?
Well, I guess that does too. But if we bring we're okay too. So anyway, tonight we are going to look at the Jack Sawyer clip. We're going to talk Connor Stallions. I have an interesting take on why Connor Stallions, Kobayashi Maroon, Ohio State. I'll explain what that means for all of you who aren't Gen Xers and haven't seen Star Trek 2. And then whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
No idea. Did I not make you watch Star Trek 2?
I mean, I watched Star Trek with,
the original one, not the stupid one that J.J. Abrams did.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, all right.
Unfortunately, I've seen the J.J. Abrams one.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to, before we go too much deeper here, as we're just trying to ramble to figure out if anybody might come over. And we've got a few people out there. Really appreciate you guys being out there, as I've said many times. Don't forget to check the poll. What is the super chat goal? Do we have a super chat goal that we're...
Yes. The super chat goal is as it normally is. Did I do $5 or... I think I did $5. 5 super chats of $5 or more. And it goes towards me wearing the shirt of your favorite team or whatever team you want me to, which last week, I can't remember who it was that suggested Spelman College, but I had my wife make this. That was Blue Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had my wife make this. So this is dedication. All right. That's all I'm saying. So you get your money's worth on this channel. That's all I'm saying.
Excellent. So, okay, now before we get too much deeper, why do I keep saying that? I have this problem. I say the same thing over and over again because it's like, how you if your car doesn't start, you just keep turning the key, hoping it actually turns over and starts. My brain works in a similar fashion.
I've not needed a key to start a car for.
Okay. Well, my
about
brain
a
works in a
decade.
similar fashion. If I keep saying something, I assume that eventually I'll say something that I would like to say rather than just repeating things. But what I want to do is our ad read. Let's talk about Rise windows and doors.
Yes, let's talk about them. All right. Well, I had it pulled. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode of the Team Rivalry Show is powered by Rise Window and Door, serving Jackson, Ann Arbor, and Lansing. Rise delivers expert craftsmanship, not just in window doors and custom trim, but a custom improvement spectrum. Locally owned and operated, they bring precision with small town care. No cookie cutter solutions here, no shortcuts. Whether it's upgrading your exterior or transforming your interior, handles every detail with the care and precision you want for your home. Call 810-673-7473 or head to risewindowdoor.com to schedule your free consultation today and let Rise help you realize the vision you have for you. Look, they're a supporter of the show, so you're going to have anyone do your home improvement projects. They're going to do the best job you could ask for, and you'll be supporting the channel while doing so. So go give them a call.
Very nice. I think your microphone cut out
Thank
a couple of times, but we got the gist of it there.
Oh my gosh.
It's just, it's the internet, but also Jordan does great work over there at Rise and really fantastic stuff. Give him a call and have him do your windows and doors and all of your construction needs. Meanwhile, 1,901 subs. Did I mention that?
You did.
I did.
That's
Excellent.
pretty great.
All right. Let's talk about, we were going to talk about Jack Sawyer feels weird. Should we jump into that?
Yeah.
That's really where we got to
still
start.
out there and still wants to come on.
Hold on. What now?
You could send Rob the link on his Twitter. See if he still wants to come on and talk.
All right. I don't think he uses that Twitter though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't he have Rob? Do you have Rob? If you're still out there, do you have a Twitter or not? I just don't want to put it in the chat because I don't want anyone to just hop
on. Here I can. I should probably do this at a different time rather than while we're talking here. But at any rate, I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to email it to him. Keep talking, will you?
There you go. Me? Oh,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Rob, send it to it. Okay. Yeah. There you go. What was I going to say? I guess I'm hoping that this is the last time we talk about Connor Stallions. I think. I'm really not sure. Everything that's going on with Connor Stallions on Twitter right now is just kind of hilarious. But I will say that the number of people who are commenting on it and just kind of losing their mind is weird. It's really weird. Like the fact that you've got so many people making such a big deal out of it. Like, the one guy I saw was, this guy goes way out of his way to prove his innocence. Well, yeah, he thinks that his name is being slandered. Like, wouldn't you? I mean, if your name were being slandered all over Twitter, wouldn't you try and comment on things and be like, look, actually, no, X, Y, and Z is what actually happened and defend yourself? Like, I don't understand why that's controversial. It shouldn't be. All he's doing is defending himself.
All right. This is the video that kind of sparked the current conversation. I did send the link out to Rob on his email. Well, unless I sent it to the wrong person. Hold on.
Oh yeah, this is the kind of production you come.
Oh, there we go. Okay, it went to the right person. Okay, so Rob, it's out there in your email.
He's asking if he needs an account.
I don't think so.
You shouldn't. You should just be able to hop in there.
Yeah. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Sweet.
Do we want to go over the video until wait for him to come on, or let's watch the video? This is the video that kind of sparked the current conversation.
Okay, let me ask you this seriously. How much did the sign stealing do you think really play?
I'll say this. I think they beat us straight up last year, obviously, and the year before. But my sophomore year, we left the field. We were like, this feels weird. We lost, by double digits, and it felt like we had beat the shit out of them all game. You know, we were on a screen pass that we had never put in. Not the formation, not the look, anything. And like, you see them on the sideline, they're doing it, and we change it, we audible do it or whatever, and when we run it, all the D linemen, as soon as the ball is snapped, the linebackers, everybody, they sniffed it out. We ran a tight end screen from the 25-yard line going in, and they snuff it out on first and 10. Come on, man.
It's just good scout.
That's a good scout.
Okay, let me.
But he's right. Like, that was just good scouting.
It seems like good scouting. Okay, Rob is here. I'm going to bring Rob on. We can keep talking.
All right.
Rob.
What's
Rob.
up, you guys?
Hey, guys.
How's it going, man?
It's going good, dude. Just living the life in Oklahoma for the summer. You know,
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
getting pretty tan, and dude, it was like 100 degrees out today. It was just, it was brutal, but it was like really nice laying by the pool. Yeah, my wife and I were staying with my brother and his wife, and they have like a built-in like underground pool, and they just have like this really nice setup and a jacuzzi, and just, man, it's been nice out here. But
That's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But how have things been going with you guys?
Oh, not bad. Voice of College Football keeps stealing our thunder, but other than that,
Yeah.
yeah,
All
not
right.
bad.
Yeah, the show's going pretty well here, except for tonight. But
Yeah, you guys are almost at 2,000 subs, man. Bravo.
Thank you.
thanks, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that new intro on your show.
Yeah, we're gonna pay for the upgrade on StreamYard. So it's gonna be coming soon. Probably
All right.
we're gonna get it going like literally like right before the season. But we appreciate you putting in the work and finishing it before the timeline. So yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, it was a fun one to work on, actually. I was actually telling my wife that for a minute there, I kind of felt weird because I was like really enjoying how it was coming out, and it's Ohio State. But I couldn't deny it with some cool shots and some cool sound. So, when you get those, it's always fun when you get the breakout plays and the announcers just go nuts and start saying, what's the one? It's a Buckeye Avalanche was one of them. And,
he actually said Crimson Avalanche.
Crimson
I'm
Avalanche.
Like,
That's
had
it.
to put
Yeah.
Alabama in there some like.
But it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But here we go. So Connor Stallions is in the news again. He likes to talk about stuff. This video that I'm sure you've seen this one. Jack Sawyer is talking about the Y delay screen pass that they had never run before, and he felt weird about it because Michigan sniffed it out. So, as a Buckeye fan, you hear him say this. What's your take on it?
So, I was really like dissecting like exactly what he said. Like, oh, we never ran this play. So that just because they never ran it in game doesn't mean they never practice it. So it's kind of like, okay, we've been practicing it, but this is something new. We actually did it in game. This is the first time, and they're able to sniff it out so easily. So, but I'm very conflicted about this 2022 game, and here's why. Our secondary was just absolutely god awful that year, and it just going back to the previous year as well. When you have Bryson Shaw, who's basically your safety, and just like literally just terrible, end up going to USC, and then the next year you have, who was it, J.K. Johnson and Cam Johnson and Cam Martinez, and I'm pretty sure Denzel Burke was hurt. And it was just like, and plus like Jim Knowles doing the whole cover zero the entire game. It's really hard to defend how sign stealing could ultimately impact the game like that. Seeing that the scheme that they ran it really didn't work, and just the talent at the back end of their defense. And also, you know, they gave up like 400 yards, good amount, like 300 through the air. Then you fast forward to the Georgia game. The same thing happened. They gave up pretty much almost 500 total yards. And so, but I will say, man, it was relatively close. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's just wide open. So I do speculate that as well. But the plays made through the air makes a lot of sense, though. I mean, if that makes any sense.
Makes a lot of like because Ohio State's secondary wasn't.
Yeah, it just wasn't that good. And then you know, you see Ohio State's secondary turnaround in 2023. So very conflicted. You know, I could, and that's why I really don't give my take, you know, just publicly or even, you know, in our videos on those games, and if sign stealing, you know, impacted the way that people say it did. It's just like, you know, you got to look at those factors as well that went into that game.
Yeah, I think it's so. I guess to me, it's kind of interesting because the way that I don't know if you saw like Connor Stalions' response to what Jack Sawyer said, but like because he even said he did they did the Y signal for tight end, or he just kind of extrapolated the Y signal to mean tight end because apparently that Y signal means tight end in like 99% of offensive playbooks, and then did the delay of game signal. So Y delay, and then you just kind of just use like logic from there and be like, why delay? Okay. Oh, tight end is probably going to block and then go out for a screen pass. Yeah, there you go. It's interesting seeing him put that kind of logic together because it kind of takes me back to every time, like when Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan, and every time Michigan would line up in a certain formation, you knew who was getting the ball. And it was usually the running back. And you would always say, like, oh, yeah, here you go. Michigan's going to run it again. I'd put money on it. And then, boom, they would run it again. Or like last season, whenever like Davis Warren was the starting quarterback, but then Alex Orji would come in, you knew Alex Orji was going to run it. And so it kind of reminded me of some stuff like that, just on a more complicated level. Like, I don't know what that Y signal is. So like, if I saw that, I wouldn't know, but Connor Stallions apparently would. That's kind of how I thought about it.
Yeah, but you know, here's the thing about Connor Stalions, man. It's always something he has to defend himself and talk about how great he is. And you know, believe it or not, if you see it or not, he has never once tried to vindicate Michigan in any of his comments. That documentary, the whole, you know, as soon as Brett McMurphy made the article about, you know, TCU coach Sonny Dykes basically saying we outsmarted Connor Stalions, it's just like the dude came out, talked about how great he was, talked about how smart he was, and like I don't think he can help himself. I mean, not trying to, like, there's something about him that says, I'm the smartest person in the room. I can't handle criticism well. So it's just like each time that he has came out of the woodworks, it's because someone has bashed him and tried to say, I'm smarter than you. So that's why like I have such a hard, that's why I don't understand like why Michigan fans defend this guy. I mean, no one's saying that Connor's not brilliant. Nobody's saying that at all.
Yeah.
But just the way that I don't know, man. Like he just
I feel you.
He just
let me offer this.
Yeah.
Okay. So not knowing Connor, I don't know Connor any better than you do. I've only ever seen him, you know, in the documentary and online. So not knowing him, and I think this, I don't know if this comes down to maybe, you know, because you're on the other side, you might see him in a negative light. Because we're on this side, we might see him in a positive light. Because there's always, I think there's that bias there sometimes, and it works negatively from both directions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if we might see, you know, we might only see the good parts and be blind to the bad parts. You might only see the bad parts and be blind to the good parts. But so I kind of looked at it this way. And again, not knowing Connor, not knowing him any better than anybody else, I have read a couple of tweets where he defends the Michigan players and saying they were the ones who won the games. You know, it was all them. It wasn't him. It was them. They were the ones who were on the field. I have seen those. I can't point to them exactly right now, but I have seen them. But also the one where he responds to Sonny Dykes, I think that the TCU coach, what I got from that tweet was not him saying he's the smartest guy in the room, but rather him saying anybody can sniff out these signals with a little bit of practice. So almost saying like what he did isn't really all that spectacular because TCU wasn't all that great at hiding their signs. That's kind of how I saw it. And
Yeah.
and it's kind of the same thing like with this one with Jack Sawyer, that he's saying that Ohio State wasn't real careful about protecting their signs, so anybody could have picked this out.
So
Not anybody. People with practice. People are paying attention.
The reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at the language that Sonny Dykes used in this interview, is that we provided dummy signs, we fooled Michigan, and seeing that Connor Stallions is the mastermind behind this and all the NC investigation, the way I read it is, you talk about how he said Michigan players, he defended that Michigan players won the game, but he also said the reason why we lost is because Michigan players, and the sign stealing wasn't that significant. But then he also goes on, still talks about how great he is. You did not outsmart me, and that's just like, that's the whole thing about like, I don't think he truly cares about the University of Michigan as a whole. I mean, people want to. I've heard the word dedicated, like, oh, he was so dedicated. But here's the other thing. You can be dedicated, like, dude, I could be dedicated to getting rich, but in what way am I dedicated to obtaining my wealth? Am I going to build the business from the ground up and, do by the books? Or am I going to open up a broker firm, prey on the elderly and, sell them overinflated stocks and, they lose their millions in a week while I make mine? So
I don't know why you do that. Just run for Congress and do some insider trading. Totally legal, apparently.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. You could be right. I mean, like I said, I don't know Connor Stallions. You could be right. It could be that his let's just say overzealous nature could be that he more wants to see himself get famous as a Wolverine rather than see the Wolverines get famous and him be part of that.
And
I wouldn't deny that necessarily. I don't know either way. But yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad you brought that up because, like, okay, so I'm not saying that Connor's not brilliant. He is, but it's just like, I don't think the game ball was enough. I don't think seeing the team win games from, his, advanced scouting was enough.
Yeah.
I mean, he's too brilliant to get caught on purpose, AKA the paper trail that he left for the NCAA to find that all these tickets were purchased. I think he did that on purpose because he wants the notoriety. He wants the admiration. And notice that he did this podcast tour with JD Pickle. He wants to keep the peace of Michigan fans and have them adore him and get his side of the story out. So if something terrible happens, they'll still admire him because he wouldn't be able to handle it if Michigan fans turn on him. I mean, you guys, I've done my research on this, on the psychology of human beings that they think they're the smartest person in the room. They can't help but to talk about themselves. I mean, Connor's one of those guys who, like, it would be so easy if he committed like this heinous crime. It would be so. He's like one of those guys who would, they have a scared to be like, you know what? I guarantee you, this guy, I can just see it, the body language. He thinks he's really smart. He probably like wants to talk about it. So he'd be like, Connor, I really, I've been looking at this in detail, and man, like, you really pulled out the works. It's like, the most elaborate, brilliant scheme. Why don't you tell me more about it? And Connor's probably like, oh my gosh, this is my chance. Someone actually thinks I'm brilliant. They're giving me admiration. It's just like it's all there, man. I watch the interviews, I read his tweets, and each time he's elaborating on how great he is. I know I said that millions of times, but that's just my take. I mean, some people they just can't help themselves.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, you could be right. You could be exactly right. I just, as I've watched it, what I see is somebody, we know that these guys compete at a level way above what we do. I mean, to be at a level, to be a D1 coach, to be a D1 player, you can't be, a shrinking violet. You can't be somebody who wants to just fade into the background. These are guys who, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger over and over and over again. Got to be number one, going over the top, going to be the best. And there's a confidence level there that just sort of overtakes everything. And we see this in our favorite coaches. I would not doubt even that Ryan Day also, just like Jim Harbaugh, has that confident attitude that if you were to be, in the room with them, you might feel intimidated. And I think that's just the way that these guys are because they're competing at that level. So then it seems to us that they're, arrogant jerks, basically. So I feel like there's a level there that changes. But because when and I guess what we know now, like with that Netflix documentary, what I saw in that was a guy who is, tired of taking so much flack. And so he is speaking out a bit, although it wasn't his documentary. He was invited to it. It wasn't his documentary. But then he does talk about, so when he says that, like the CMU guy doesn't look like him, and then it turns out, so he actually was on the sidelines. So, and that's another topic we can get into in a bit here.
That part was weird.
Yeah. But first, let me get this real quick. I brought this up. So Blue Wolverine, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Are you not entertained? I was thinking about that too. Gladiator kind of style games here. Thank you very much, Blue Wolverine. I hope, I don't know if you're watching Michigan Voice College football, but they should not be on right now. And somebody should tell TJ that. Thank you. Anyway. No, I'm just kidding. But thank you, Blue Wolverine. We appreciate that always.
But do you? Come on. Like, Connor's too smart to purposely leave a trail, a paper trail, so easily for NCAA investigators to find.
I've got two thoughts on that. One, I kind of agree with you. He's like too smart for that to happen. So there's a possibility that either he was hiding it out in plain sight, assuming that nobody would think it was real, or he wasn't actually cheating and he was just buying football tickets for friends. Those are really the two possibilities, I think.
Yeah, I mean, carelessness, I suppose, but it's just interesting. It's really interesting just to like watch those interviews and see his body language and how he just as soon as like the light is on him in a bad way, he deflected towards Ohio State, which was so easy, by the way, for someone to do because that's their biggest rival. I'm gonna tell them something that they really want to hear. I'm gonna blame their biggest rival, so I'll continue to look like the hero. That's exactly like someone that mindset would do. When it's my turn to take accountability, I flip the script and I put it on someone else. So
I can't argue with that. I mean, I guess we'll find out. I mean, it could go either way. I want so exploring with Ben and Sam. This is our friend Ben. He's actually a Ducks fan, so he says vacate the wins, put an asterisk next to the title. Yeah, sure. Did you guys win the championship? What happened there? What happened to Oregon last year?
Yeah,
34-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
I seem to recall there being a murder in LA.
Something happened.
Pretty much in their own backyard, man.
Basically.
So Brandon is out there. Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Brandon says we need to stop overthinking Connor Stallions. He was a sign stealer, period. He was a former Marine. He was really good at his job. Don't make this complicated like most rivals have purposely.
But here's the thing, Brandon. Most people, some people don't like. They just spout out the mouth. Like and Cliff and Matt can tell you, I do a lot of research, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like that.
We call him the professor.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It says Ted Bundy was educated too. Okay, fine. Whatever.
Ouch.
Crazy take. Who had the crazy take? Oh, wait a minute. He's one.
Oh,
Okay.
who do you think?
Was it you?
I mean, I'll
Was it
own
you,
it.
Kowalski? All right. Ben says, okay, I'm done here. But remember, Jeffrey Dahmer went to Ohio State for a while. Yeah, but Ted Bundy went to Michigan, didn't he?
Did he?
No, that was a Unabomber that went to Michigan.
Oh,
I
the
was gonna say,
Unabomber.
I think,
That's
yeah,
right,
the Unabomber went to Michigan.
There we go.
And-
That'll get us demonetized right there. We're good.
Sweet. All right. Who's your favorite serial killer, guys?
I think that's how it went down.
Let's talk about this.
No, we're not.
Everybody know where the Zodiac killer went to school? Was that USC? I feel like that was USC.
EP says Connor is brilliant, period. That's okay. That's
No one
the
ever said he
discussion.
wasn't brilliant. No,
Right.
no.
Well, but this is what we're going to have. And that's actually another question I wanted to talk about tonight too, is just the state of this rivalry. You know, has it gone to a point where there's like no return because we're all like at each other's throats sometimes with this, but oh no.
Oh, all right. Bye, Rob.
Bye, Rob. Rob is gone. Okay. Rob, if, oh, wait a minute. Nope. I think he's coming back. There we go.
I had no idea what happened there.
Just
For a
click
second,
that.
I thought you guys were frozen. I was the only one on. I'm like, what am
Oh,
I going
no.
to do?
Take over the show.
This is their show.
Yep.
It's your show now, man.
Okay, Rob, do you have more time?
Yeah, I have a lot of time.
Okay, cool.
Oh, sweet.
So
All
let's see, Mac, do you remember which was the next tweet we wanted to go to?
I don't know where is that.
So we had-
those are all your bookmarks.
Yeah,
We wanted
so
to
had
go to the one guy. I can't
Dan?
remember what his name was. Yeah,
Wait a minute. Am I on
you're
my
not in your
still?
bookmarks.
What the heck happened? What is this guy? Hold on.
There you
we'll
go.
get there.
All right.
Nope, that's not it.
No,
that's the other
that's
guy.
not. Does that say Dan?
I thought it did for a second. Okay, here we
There
go.
you go. Jeez.
Okay, so this was the next point of discussion then. Dan, that guy, says, hey, Connor Stallions, I need your help deciphering the signs. How is it that you say 1 week you had every sign to the 2022 OSU game, and yet a week later you claim to have known OSU changed their signs for the game? Which was it? Can't be both. Never mind, I figured it out. Sign of a cheater. Okay. So
Okay, he's only posting that for engagement too. Look at those hashtags.
Michigan cheated.
Michigan
Y'all are
cheated. Hashtag y'all are cooked.
We'll
What?
see. Okay, so then Connor's reply. No problem, Dan. If you insist on Ohio State's signal strategy being online, I can break down for you what I observed during Michigan's 22-point victory over Ohio State in the shoe, not to be confused with the 3-point victory this past season. Okay, so there he's digging in. I get it. Ohio State had a set of signals it used against Michigan in 21. Going into 22's game against us, they changed their signals, quote unquote, as Ryan Day claimed. But here's what they did. They only made a new set of signals for their route concepts, which don't matter to me. They used the same formation signals, 90% of the important information for me, and pass protection signals, 10% of the important information for me, as they did in 2021 against us. Mind you, it was the same back in 2019 too. I've explained the cat and mouse game on Bussin' with the Boys. If you're interested in why only changing the last part of the signal but not the first is not very smart. So to summarize, OSU kept the important signals, formation, motion, protection, the same years and only changed their route concepts, which I don't care about. They changed the signals that don't matter. They kept the ones that do. Hope that helps.
But also they changed or he said in the documentary that they changed their signals at halftime. Or they didn't change them,
Yeah.
but like they changed up who was delivering them or something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess that like he could say that he had the signs for Ohio State in 2022, and then they went ahead and changed them because they changed them at halftime.
So
Right.
this is what confuses me as well. you know, when he's talking about that Sonny Dykes thing, he said it's highly impossible for coaches to change their signals because it would confuse the 18 and 19-year-olds and frustrate them. But
Right.
I mean, like, man, this is like going like in circles, dude. Like, where does it stop?
Well, but okay, but then in that case, and I'm just, we're gonna go back and forth. We're gonna play the antagonist here.
Yeah.
Doesn't he mean when he talks about the not changing the signals versus changing the signals, what he meant was they're not going to change the signal to mean something else. The signal always means what the signal always means, so they don't change. If they change a signal, it means they added one. So if, why delay means why, all means why delay, they're not going to change why delay to mean long pass.
But also, he said that they didn't even change like the important part of the signs. They kept the formation and motion protections the same. All they changed were the route concepts.
And
right. That's yeah. So I mean, like, and then Sonny Dykes said that it wasn't necessary. They changed some of their signals. Sonny Dykes said, but they also gave dummy signals. But then also go back and watch the TCU game, and if I'm not mistaken, JJ McCarthy threw not one but 2 pick sixes, and the defense also couldn't tackle to save their life. Michigan didn't exactly have a game plan going into the TCU game. I think that fourth down call on the first drive where they were on the 1 yard line and did an end around reverse. What was that? So I mean, I don't know. I don't think the TCU game is necessarily the best example, and I really don't think the Ohio State game is the best example either.
Well, I was when I was watching the TCU game in real time, like, man, like Michigan didn't take this game seriously. They're getting smacked around, and something's going on. JJ staring down his receivers, and and just like I'd have to go back and watch that game again, but because it's just like I do find it odd that they were like lights out on defense, and then all of a sudden like they gave up like their biggest total yards, and that was like around 500 total yards in offense. So that's something to look at as well.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, yeah, that to me though, it's not necessarily because think about it this way, like in that Jack Sawyer clip, he even says like they threw in that screen pass to the tight end, and it was a play that they had never run before or something like that. And whether or not that's true, okay. Whether or not Michigan had the sign, okay. Either way, Michigan knew that a pass was coming. But here's the thing. On that play, they were able to stop the pass, but C.J. Stroud still scrambled for 5 yards. That same logic, to me anyway, I mean, that same logic can kind of hold up for TCU too, but on a bigger scale. Because like Sonny Dykes isn't an idiot by any means. He can, and they had a really good offense. The fact that Michigan might have been able to scout TCU, have some of their signs. Maybe they got fooled by some of the dummy signs or something like that. But the signs that they did have, they still had to stop TCU. And even if they did stop the play that TCU was going to run, TCU was still able to get yardage because Michigan just couldn't tackle. And frankly, we're out of position many, many times.
I wonder why they're out of position many, many times.
Because they got beat. They got beat.
I was just about to bring up that point, man. They look lost out there, out of position.
They did, yeah.
Like really bad.
They did. I mean, I will grant you, they absolutely did. But I don't think it's because they didn't have the signs. I think it was because they didn't take TCU seriously. I mean, everybody was calling Michigan to mop the floor with TCU, and I just don't think that they took them seriously at all.
But here's the thing, Mac. Let's go back to that Stallions tweet. Mm-hmm. Notice how when his little, scheme, failed, he blamed it on the players. But when his scheme worked, he gave all the players praise. He cannot take any criticism at all. Notice that. Go look back at the explanation of the tweet. Notice that when his scheme did not work in the game.
Which one are we talking about? Which tweet?
I'm talking about the response to the Brett McMurphy. The response to the Brett McMurphy story about Sonny Dykes saying that he outsmarted Connor Stallions, the dummy signals, and all that. So going back to that, notice how he blamed the players because God forbid, I had one job and I completely fumbled it. So,
but like when they worked against Ohio State, though, I mean, he didn't necessarily take credit for that. He just said that Ohio State didn't change their signals, and so he was able to figure out what they were going to do. The players still had to stop it. And there were a couple of times when Michigan had the right play call and still couldn't stop it.
Didn't Sonny Dykes say that he was informed about this next level scheme that Michigan had going on? And mind you, this wasn't just like a week to prepare. This was like they had a month to prepare for this bowl game, this playoff game.
Yeah. I think he said that that he heard that it was something next level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he heard from like Ohio State and Purdue.
You can take that a couple of different ways too. What? You can take it as either like he's really good at it or he was cheating.
Yeah.
I mean, there's two possibilities there.
I thought wasn't that the case though? I didn't think that was like a controversial thing. I thought he literally said that he heard from like Ohio State and Purdue that
he did.
Yeah, I mean, you could hear it as he's just really good at it. Like he was being told that the sign stealer at Michigan was just really good, like exceptional at his job.
No, I looked more into those comms and stuff. He said like they're going like above and beyond of what sign stealers should actually be doing. So I'd have to look back again, but for my recollection, that's exactly what he was talking about. And that's just like, okay, I have to go to these lengths to, make all these dummy signals.
Right.
Well, so go into his response here. Let's see what he has to say.
All right. So this is response to Brett McMurphy. He says, to save everybody's time so we can move forward, we lost because we turned the ball over and had poor game tackling. Okay. So there you're saying he's blaming the players. And TCU played well. Congratulations. The same way we won the Natty when I was not with the program because we blocked well, tackled well, and took care of the rock. Welcome to the game of football. So there he's praising the team even though he wasn't there. Since people are so intrigued by signals, the entire air raid communication system is the offensive coordinator signaling to the QB, then the QB signaling to the receivers, USC, TCU, etc. It's all the same. They are all the same signals too. And TCU kept everything from the QB to everything from the coordinator to the QB the same, but had dummy signals and some new signals from the QB receivers. But that didn't matter because I'm watching the coach and seeing what they changed in real time, similar to Ohio State changing their signals, quote unquote. They changed their route concepts and some run concepts, not their formations and pass protection signals, which is all I care about.
Okay, so he had the base signals. It was kind of the same situation as Ohio State. Like he had the signals that he needed.
Right.
Now,
the difference. Sorry.
No, sorry. Go on.
Well, I was going to say, like, I mean, he's saying in that paragraph anyway that he had the signals that he needed, but like he did against Ohio State. But the difference was that Michigan lost to TCU, but not Ohio State.
Now go on and read the next line.
As to say anyone, quote unquote, fooled me is admitting that you have no idea how signal deciphering and protecting works.
All right,
no
stop.
team has ever. Okay.
Stop. That goes back to my point. Is I'm the smartest person in the room. No one could fool me. That's a pretty condescending comment if you really look at it. So that goes back to my point is like, okay, so this story has been this story's been recycled many times, not by known figures like Brett McMurphy, but some like kind of known Twitter accounts, but not like Brett. I mean, Brett McMurphy is a big college football insider. Does he do on three? So it's just like when someone big reported this, he's like, oh my gosh, everyone knows Brett McMurphy. They're all going to see this. Kind of rescue coming to his own defense, and That's like the biggest, most condescending comment. To say anyone fooled me is admitting that you have no idea how signal deciphering works.
Yeah, but I think that's okay. I think there though that depends on how you feel about Connor Stallions, because I'm reading that and thinking what he's saying is anybody could have figured that out. It wasn't that he's the smartest person. It was that it wasn't that difficult to figure out.
All right,
So he wasn't fooled, because nobody would have been fooled.
And frankly, that's not to say, I mean, again, like the guy is was he a Marine, or he was in the armed forces? Like I guess.
Yeah, I think he was a Marine.
I was going to say you have to be something of a, I was going to say like a narcissist, but that's not even kind of true. Not a narcissist, somebody like overly confident, and not even overly confident. I can't remember. Or goodness, I can't think of the word that I'm trying to say, but like every word that's popping in my head is like super offensive to our armed forces. So sorry guys. But like you have to be, I guess, confident, I would say. But like, yeah, I didn't necessarily read that thinking that he was being, I guess, condescending as much as, I don't know. I guess to me, it's, if you are Connor Stallions and you genuinely think that your name is being dragged through the mud on Twitter, like I would feel backed into a corner and probably start saying a lot of things I shouldn't too. And I don't even know that he's necessarily saying something he shouldn't hear. So I don't know. I guess I don't know how to feel about that line. To me, it didn't feel too icky.
But at the same time, he's admitting that, isn't this tweet as well? He's admitting that he had Michigan State signs, Ohio State, Georgia, so and so, and just like he's kind of incriminating himself in a way. Man, it's just like,
how
dude,
so?
if I'm under investigation for what the NCAA is telling me I'm under investigation for, this is the last thing I'd want to say. But he can't help himself. You guys, he can't. I'm not trying to badmouth the dude. It's just, actually, I kind of am, but it's in his nature, you guys. It just is. But look, I get it. People want to hail him a hero, but I would be shocked. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to be looking at not one show cause, but 2 show causes now for what happened with Central Michigan, which, by the way, Central Michigan broke NCAA bylaw 11.6.1, which is the same that Michigan is being accused of breaking. So I would be shocked if this dude is ever allowed in college football again.
I mean, at this point, I probably would be too, just because I feel like the NCAA wants to make a point with him. I guess I don't see how him having the signs to all these games is like him self-incriminating. But then I will say, I mean, frankly, as a Western Michigan alum, I would love if Central Michigan got the hammer. That would be hilarious to me. And what would be doubly hilarious is if everybody's like, oh, Michigan's going to get the hammer, and then Central Michigan ends up getting it instead. And it's just,
that would be
so funny.
It would be like, wait a minute, like these 2 programs, like Connor Stallions was working with both programs. How do you punish one team more than the other? So it's kind of like, you guys, I'm not saying that this giant hammer is going to come. I'm like, I don't believe the Natty's going to be vacated. The more I just do research on this and think about this and just put aside my emotions and me being an Ohio State fan, it's just like, it's kind of hard to look away at, okay, like there's a good chance that they get a punishment that the Michigan fan base feels, but also Ohio State, like good amount of fans who are like upset about this are disappointed with the punishment as well. So I'm staying in the middle on this, but because go on.
Let me ask you though, like, why is it necessarily self-incriminating that he's got the signs to these 7 games? Because to me, I mean, that's his job.
Well, and that it goes with what EP is saying too, that you look at the last 3 games against us, and I think she's talking about Ohio State. It's the same plays, new offensive coordinator, same plays. So if he's doing his job, then he's collecting the plays over several games. So by the time he gets to a game, he might have, a majority of the signals they have.
But
Yeah.
but Georgia, like,
I mean, if he watches a lot of football, he might get Georgia's signals too.
wait. You could. There's no way in heck you can get signals on a. Come on, dude. I guarantee
I'm sorry. I didn't mean literally like watching the TV broadcast.
Okay.
I mean, he might have other means.
Because I've seen some comments like that, man, on your videos. Yeah. That's why.
Well,
I just want to make sure.
Uh-oh. I might lose power.
All right.
Looks like we had a storm going on. But yeah, and that's part of the problem we have with this whole conversation is that there's so many people saying ridiculous things. Like you just said, like they're saying you can watch TV and get all of the signals. You can't. You might get one or two, but not a lot of them. The all 22 footage will show a lot of the sidelines, but not always. And the coaches will talk to each other, or not the coaches will talk to each other, but they're guys on each team that will talk to each other. Logic and reason has kind of gone out the window for most of the discussion, which is why I wonder if, the rivalry will ever get back to where it was, if there'll ever be although we're having a good conversation now, so that's great. I mean, we can disagree on it, but we're still friends. We can still talk about it and be okay.
Right.
So right, Rob, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna be like that. No way, dude.
Okay.
But the thing I say about the Georgia game is because it's like, when the NCAA came forward with some of their evidence, they brought up possible playoff opponents. So just like that's why I look at this. Okay, literally the NCAA says there's evidence of playoff games, and now openly on Twitter you admit that you had the signs of Georgia for who was a potential playoff opponent, which definitely became one. So
I'm really curious as to why all of a sudden he's talking too, and either he just doesn't care anymore, or he knows that nothing, it's all settled already. I don't know. It's really weird, but the whole thing has been weird from the get-go. And like you said, the whole thing was out in plain sight. It was either the dumbest thing ever, or it was all part of the plan.
I guess but think about it though. Like, okay, so 2021 MSU, 2022 MSU. I don't know what type of offense Mel Tucker runs, so I don't know how he got those signs other than Michigan plays Michigan State often or every year. 2021 Georgia, 2022 TCU. I don't know what type of offense Georgia runs either, but like when he mentioned the TCU offense being the air raid, and then the air raid offense is generally all of them use the same signs to call the plays because they're using that offensive philosophy. I wonder if it's, and I don't know this, but like I wonder if it's the same kind of deal. Like Georgia runs a style of offense that uses signals that are similar to a team that he's already seen. Maybe that's, so he's on the sideline and he's looking through his book of signals that he's already got, and he's recognizing, okay, Georgia coaches are doing this particular signal, and so he finds the play and is able to identify it that way because he's seen it before.
But how would he see before though?
From another team that runs the same offense or similar offense.
Man, that's, dude. I'd have to do. I don't have to look some more. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I have to look into that.
No, I know. I guess I don't know either. That's kind of the weird thing about it is, I guess, because I don't want to like turn Connor Stallions into this legendary figure either. I think that, frankly, this whole thing would have been a lot easier if this hadn't been an issue for sure. Like we wouldn't be talking about this and we could focus on football. But to me, it's like the guy was kind of doing his job in the same way that other sign stealers are doing the same job. He's just a lot better at it than they are. The fact that like he was accused of sending people to other games and videotaping the sidelines, that you're not going to get very good information from that. So I don't really see how that's going to be helpful to him. So the only thing that I could really see that he's doing or did that could potentially have been against the rules is talking to this black market of other coaches or other analysts who also have different signals and stuff like that. And they're all passing things back and forth. But if he's going to get in trouble with that, then you got to get everybody like at Purdue and Michigan State and Rutgers.
Are you talking, dude? Are you talking about that documentary?
I mean, he's mentioned it there. He's mentioned it other places too.
Man, that's just like, that's some like Illuminati stuff, man.
No,
there have been other. I've seen articles written. There were articles written. I found one when this whole thing came out. I was doing my own research and found that there was an article on The Athletic called "The Game Within the Game," and it came out in, I think, what was that, 2018, 2015?
The game,
yeah, it might even been earlier than that. And it was all about sign stealing and how these guys go to these different lengths to trade signs with this team, and they'll work through this team. And the whole thing that Connor explained in that Netflix video, I had already read about in these other articles. So it does happen, and these coaches are openly talking about it. So it is out there.
That's interesting. Well, you should. Could you send that the article to my email?
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder if I can find it. But yeah, I mean, so I guess that's my thing. Is I bet it's kind of like the SEC and what all us Big Ten fans have been complaining about since NIL became, or since before NIL became legal, was that everybody in the SEC was paying players, or at least most of the big dogs were. I mean, frankly, there are stories that come out about my favorite SEC coach, Nick Saban, paying players and all that I refuse to accept, but it probably happened. So like, I'm kind of at that point with this whole thing where it's like, I think Connor Stallions was doing the same thing that everybody else was doing. He was just a lot better at it. And maybe he comes off like a total douche on X.
That's what he wants you to think, that he was a lot better at it, because that's been his whole narrative. Well,
okay, this is what this guy, this coach Isaac posted, that as a former West Point cadet, when no one talks about is Connor Stallions' quote unquote code cracker instincts. In my opinion, after naval plus Marine training, his background in pattern recognition and tactical analysis fueled his uncanny ability to decode signals, turning sideline chaos into strategic clarity. He just got caught and became the scapegoat, classic diversion play. So he's talking about something else there.
Classic, well, maybe that's from the NCAA or something.
Yeah. But this is the thing to be taken into account, which a lot of people have, I think, glossed over, is that as with naval and Marine training, and I'm trying to remember, I thought he was a captain. Oh, he actually says that in one of his tweets he was a captain in, oh my goodness, in the Marines. Okay. Captain in the Marines. Okay. So with that kind of training, he's got some, strategic, quote unquote, military grade instincts to be able to decipher these codes, because in those situations, your life depends on it. So in football, it would be a lot simpler.
But I also wonder how many like sign stealers are going home and building their own databases of signs and stuff like. I mean, if you told me that the guy was on the spectrum, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. but I don't know. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, honestly, my co-host and I, we have fatigue with this. I'm pretty sure that a good amount of people do. It's just like, okay, we've been waiting for like 2 years, but from what I've seen on the dashboard, dude, there's been investigations that were going on for like what 3 to 5 years. So it's just like, we're getting this. We may be getting this a lot quicker than others, but it's just like, okay, like the decision can come any minute now. But to me, it's just like, I know it's gonna, like we all know it's gonna come, but this is like the release of the Epstein files. Just like, okay, like the Department of Justice has said they're gonna release the files, and we're all saying, oh my gosh, it's about time. I wonder who's gonna be on it, and just like,
and it's all blacked out,
and we're just forever waiting. But there is gonna be a conclusion to this sooner or later, hopefully sooner, because Peter and I, we definitely have fatigue. Whenever, like, dude. Like, even when like something new comes out and stuff, and it's like worthy to talk about. We're like, do we want to talk about it? And Peter's just like, well, I'm kind of tired of this, and I'm just like, let's give it a try. Let's talk about it. It's in the news, it's trending, so why not?
You definitely get some good engagement off of it. That's for sure.
I completely agree. And what's fascinating to me about this, and this was my whole, I don't know if you heard me talking about Kobayashi Maru. If you're familiar with Star Trek or not familiar with Star Trek, Kobayashi Maru was brought up in Star Trek II way back in 1982. And it's the test that Kirk takes to be a captain of a starship. And the whole idea of the Kobayashi Maru test, and this will make sense in a minute. Hold on. The whole idea of the Kobayashi Maru test was it's supposed to be a test of character. How do you hold up when the odds are overwhelming to the point where you either have to surrender, die trying, or run as fast as you can to get away? And Kirk, of course, didn't believe in the no-win scenario. So he changes the conditions of the tests so that he can win the engagement. As a child of the 80s, I feel like, and I don't want to make it a generational thing, but I think it's, for me anyway, what Connor did was, and this, again, if I'm understanding what happened, that the worst thing, if everything is true, the worst thing Connor did was watch a football game 3.5 hours before he was supposed to, which is really what it amounts to. It's not like he stole playbooks. It's not like he broke into anybody's office. He just watched a game 3.5 hours before he was supposed to. So the rule that says you're not supposed to advance scout in college, and when this whole thing broke, we had people, including our friend Garrison, saying that, Connor Stallions had desecrated the sport of football. And immediately we found out that this is legal in high school. In fact, I even found out that there are some high school leagues that actually encourage coaches to send somebody to other games to video them. It's legal in the NFL. There are guys who are specifically hired to do that. So if
they're
it's
given
legal,
a spot at the stadiums,
right? If it's legal in these other areas, how could you be desecrating the sport? Now, again, as Garrison likes to say, it's not the advantage that was gained. It's the fact that the rule was broken. And I get that. The rule was broken. From what we understand, the rule was broken, and they should be punished for that. But by the same token, the rule is dumb. And so I kind of made this correlation today between Connor Stallions and Captain Kirk. They saw a dumb rule and went over the top to expose the dumb rule. And this was the result. Now, obviously, in Star Trek, Kirk goes on to be a captain and all that. In the real world, you end up getting, investigated by the NCAA. But to me, that's kind of how it feels. So when Connor, puts out these tweets and acts very confidently or arrogantly and all that, I kind of smile because in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, like Captain Kirk. It's just that kind of thing. And
nerd.
I know. But I understand the fatigue, though. It's just that's why this kind of is interesting to me as it goes on, because it's interesting to me how Connor is responding to it. But I would like it to be over as much as anybody else. And I know, I don't know what's going to happen. I guess I'm not as worried about it because a lot of people I trust are saying it's probably not going to amount to anything. But who knows? Nobody knows what the NCAA is going to do. It might be that Michigan is about to get hammered, but then I don't understand how they're doing so well in recruiting if all of these recruits with their agents are telling them, you're going to be at Michigan for about 3 months before, the whole program goes under. That seems silly. So just all of this sort of real world events kind of belies the fact or betrays the fact that they would be getting the hammer. But having said all of that, I understand the fatigue, and I'm just kind of interested. I think what we see in some groups is that, every rule has to be obeyed specifically and perfectly, or else things are bad. And for my generation, it was, we obey the rules, but sometimes rules are dumb and they need to be exposed.
But
I'll leave it.
here's the with the whole Central Michigan thing, people like Trevor McHugh are talking about, oh, I've seen the NOA, and then like on a board post, someone needs to get their hands on this NOA, just like someone did Michigan. They're just like, okay, you've been caught in a lie. It's just like if people are getting their information from some Michigan insiders, I would really like pump the brakes on that, because some people have, like, some of them have just been like really wrong about what's going on, and just the idea that again, Trevor McHugh said Central Michigan is going to get punished worse than Michigan. It's like, but wait a minute, they're both being accused for breaking the same bylaws, so that's just like, I don't see that. It's really hard to see that argument. So
did Trevor McHugh say that, or was that people's interpretation of it?
No, that's what Trevor McHugh said. I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Okay.
Who's Trevor McHugh? I've never heard of him.
He's a Michigan beat writer.
Yeah.
Just like
that was just today that he posted that, wasn't it?
No, that was a couple days ago.
Okay.
I did some retweets and stuff, and I'm just like,
oh yeah, Trevor McHugh. Yeah,
I'm just like, hey, you know what? There's nothing like a Michigan staffer who's on Michigan's payroll, a part of their football program, on Central Michigan sideline, and it has absolutely nothing to do with Michigan. So I was kind of being facetious and
sure, yeah,
and condescending.
So let's think about that one for a second. How exactly did Connor Stallions get on the sidelines of CMU? He didn't sneak in. It's not like he, did a James Bond and just walked in. How did he get there?
Okay. So if you go back and watch the press conference with Jim McElwain, that's his name. If you go back and watch the press conference with Jim McElwain, when he's asked that question, he looks nervous. I mean, he looks really nervous. And I wonder if it's because, all right, so this is going to be my conspiracy with Central Michigan, which I don't mind to do because I'm a Western Michigan alum and I hate them. So I think that Jim McElwain hired Connor Stallions from Michigan, knowing that he had Michigan State's signals, and he wanted Connor to help him beat, or as Central Michigan, beat Michigan State. I bet you anything that's what happened. And so that's on Connor, though. Connor should probably get in trouble for that. I don't know what the punishment would be at that point, but Connor in Central Michigan should definitely get in trouble for that.
But then you have that failure to monitor, up in the air, like, okay, like, how do you not know that this, like, you have a staffer from Michigan on Michigan's payroll doing openly breaking NCAA bylaws, and he's from Michigan, and you don't know that all this stuff is going on.
But
that's when he got fired, wasn't it? Wasn't that when that picture came out? That's when Stallions got fired from.
It was just before the MSU game. But then also like that whole failure to monitor thing, just to me is really subjective, because it's like, I mean, if my work, I work remotely, and if I do something illegal, is Basis Technology is going to get in trouble for it because they failed to monitor me at my home 200 miles away from the main office. Like, I mean, to me, Connor Stallions goes home and after work one day at Michigan, and then what? Like, is somebody supposed to keep an eye on him the whole time? I mean,
but Matt, remember when the whole Zach Smith thing happened at Ohio State, and rival fans were out full out in force. How did Urban Meyer not know he should be fired? He should be suspended. How did he not know what was going on in
I think that's ridiculous.
So-and-so's household?
Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. I don't, that was Zach Smith, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I know Zach Smith. I think things have gotten better there.
Yeah. Which, by the way, he was vindicated, by the way.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So
So
that's okay. So that's wonderful to hear. But like, yeah, it's not Urban Meyer's responsibility to know what's going on in Zach Smith's household. Now, if something illegal happens and Zach Smith gets caught or whoever does it gets caught and they're arrested and yada, yada. And then at that point, Urban Meyer's got to make the decision. But I mean, until then, it's his home. Like, it's Zach Smith's home. Like, how are you supposed to keep an eye on him? I mean, I'm not like, I guess, okay, so Zach Smith didn't actually do anything. That's awesome. If he had done something, I still don't think that failure to monitor should be a thing to get in trouble for, because, again, how are you supposed to know what's going on behind closed doors?
Well, at the time it was reported it's something, but, the more you read the story, it was actually like his wife, like set him up in a way that, like, okay, like, it's your day to pick up so-and-so. And then, kind of like he went there, she called the police, and he got arrested. So It was like one of the, like, yeah, it was just some malicious stuff behind the scenes. Just from what I've read, article or so. But
that's terrible. Yeah, I know Doreen and Zach Smith, I guess, hang out sometimes. She seems to think that he's cool. So, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of fatigue, though, too, at the NCAA, fatigue with this, but also with the NCAA, that from what I understand, this is actually the last time the NCAA will get to mitigate one of these things. The College Sports Commission, and I'm pretty sure this is as of next year, the College Sports Commission is actually going to start doing the monitoring, or the investigations and the handing down of punishments and that kind of thing. So with any luck, they'll be able to do this faster, and then these things won't carry on so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think wasn't that not to bring politics into this again, but wasn't that a Donald Trump thing? Didn't he sign an executive order, like, putting that into place or something, or what happened?
No, that was for NIL.
NIL.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And then, but there's other people saying that it doesn't actually affect anything. I think didn't David Cohn or somebody was saying it actually doesn't change anything, but I didn't look into it too much because I don't know.
I think it's not supposed to change anything, but it's probably going to, because it was technically against, I want to say, NCAA rules for the third party NIL stuff to be happening, but now it's like legit illegal. So it wasn't, maybe it's not supposed to change something because it was already against NCAA rules, but the NCAA is stupid and irrelevant. So who's going to listen to them?
Right. And likely going away soon. So
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I think with the Connor Stallion stuff is they've got, like, that's the only thing that worries me about Michigan getting the hammer, is that the NCAA has dying star syndrome.
Yeah.
And they'll just give Michigan the hammer just to feel like they did something relevant for the last time, and then they'll go off into the sunset. And actually this just popped in my head, maybe they're not going to give Michigan the hammer because at this point it doesn't matter, because even if the NCAA gave Michigan the hammer, like, by next year, the NCAA doesn't exist or doesn't matter, and they can't enforce anything. So who cares?
Dude, this this Matthew S guy, that Ohio bias fan, he stopped talking. And the whole, like, Michigan needs to rehire Connor. Dude, read the room. Connor Stallions will never be in college football ever again. Just stop. And that's not even me being biased. He is literally has been named in 2 NOAs for breaking bylaw 11.6.1. He is looking at 2 show causes. And that, again, it's not me being biased. That's me reading the room, looking at the rules, looking at the possible punishments. There's no way that Michigan is going to remotely hire him again. He will not be working college football again. I guarantee it. Maybe some, shady NFL team will hire, and or maybe
Patriots.
Bill Belichick will have him wear a disguise and change his name to Sonner Callions and introduce him as the new staffer at this low level staffer in North Carolina. So.
Okay. I'm gonna take the other side of that one. I think you're right. It'll be a while before anybody hires him, but I think depending on how badly the NCAA comes down on him, I think he could end up back on a college team. Maybe Michigan, maybe not. But like in the next, I don't know, give it a few years. People have a short memory anymore, but give it 5-10 years, and I bet you he's back on the sidelines.
You know what?
But we'll see.
If I'm still around in the YouTube scene, and you're right, I'll be more than happy to come on the show and say, you know what, Cliff, you were right, man. I was completely wrong. They need to build a statue of Connor, throw him this giant parade, hill riding on the elephant, and it will be Connor Stallions Day every
not an elephant. This isn't Alabama.
every anniversary that they won the national championship, it will be Connor Stallions Day. So
just like Scott Frost Day, we saw how good that worked out. Well, hey guys, speaking of fatigue,
it's a good show, you guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate you coming on. We weren't sure how we were going to carry this on for an hour and a half, but I mean, when it was just going to be the two of us.
Yeah, because the two of us were just going to go full Homer, build the statue. He's a legend. Thank you, Connor Stallions. All praise to Connor Stallions. So, Matthew,
what?
Rob's reading Matthew's comment. I can tell.
Hey, you know what? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So
that's right. I like the other version
Michigan's
of that
already
saying,
in.
You
Ryan
can lead
Day's
a horse to water, but you can't get him drunk.
How do you find?
There you go.
These settings on here are just crazy. All right, I guess that'll work.
I think it's user error.
Probably is.
Yeah. All
right, but anyway, Rob, thank you very much for coming on the show. Why don't you, as long as you're here, tell everybody where you're from and where they can find you.
Well, I am from channel Buckeyes Battle Cry, but what I will say is, Michigan fans, if you're going to subscribe to my co-host Nye's channel, be sure to make up your mind that you're going to be in it for the long run and not unsubscribe just because we have a not a particularly nice take about our rivals, because we do notice a downtick in subscribers every time we post something just not in favor of Michigan. So again, make up your mind. Are you in or are you out?
Hey Rob, I got something for you real quick. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
All right. You're really gonna like this. Okay, because I mean, frankly, it was a family thing. I got my wife involved. She made it. I thought you'd really like it.
Hey, how about this? Because I'm gonna call my shot right now. All right. I think this season, seeing that Ryan Day, got over the hump, won the national championship, he's more than likely never going to doubt himself in the big games again. Shaking that mental edge. I think Ohio State's going to go into the big house and win. And if they don't, I will buy a T-shirt. I will come on the show and I'll wear it.
Ooh, all right.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
All right.
I'll buy a T-shirt if Ohio State loses, and I'll wear it on here, and I will wear it proudly and shamefully at the same time. So,
did you see the episode we did recently where I wore the Ohio State shirt?
No, I didn't get to see that.
I'll have to send it to you. It was actually kind of hilarious. The shirt was actually really comfortable too. We ended up getting a super chat from Blue Wolverine to cut it up. He sent us $50 to cut it up, and that actually kind of made me sad because it was really comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I did see when Cliff wore the Roll Tide shirt.
Yeah. Blue Wolverine made me do that.
Wait, that was my idea.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right. That was your idea. Yeah, I'm sorry.
We can't give him credit.
That's right. You can't get credit. Right. That was you. I remember now.
Done is single-handedly support this channel. That's
I've still got the pieces of it. I haven't thrown it away yet.
Yeah. But
Right.
I urge you guys take care, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Thanks,
man.
Rob.
Nice
Later.
seeing you, buddy.
See you, man.
Right.
All right, everybody. That is going to do it for us tonight. I'm tired. It's been
You're
a show. Yeah, it's been a weird week. It's been an interesting week. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us and talking about Connor Stallions. I know it's like Rob said, there's some Connor fatigue. And when we were discussing what we were going to talk about tonight, we were like, I don't know if I want to talk about that or not. But it's in the news. You got to talk about it. Oh wait, Matthew's got another comment here. You, sir, will wear Michigan and publicly apologize to Connor Stallions. Hopefully Rob saw that. All right.
Yeah. We'll screenshot it and send it to him.
Well, yeah, we'll send that to him. Otherwise, I think that's going to do it for us. We will be back next Wednesday night. Mac has his daily videos out. Make sure you catch those. We have a video that will be about Oregon's 2024 season. That should be coming out in the next couple of weeks, I hope. That will be a special edition. And we are still working on what we're going to do with members. Like I said earlier, memberships help us out with our reach, and it allows us to bring in more people to talk football. Otherwise, I think that's going to about do it.
We are talking about a members only fantasy football league.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But also we were talking about doing the pigskin showdown where you pick the winners from each week for the Big Ten games, and whoever picks the most winners gets a prize.
To be determined. We haven't figured out what the prize is yet.
It honestly might just be a gift card or our everlasting gratitude,
which you will have.
Yes, either way.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Mac, take us out.
This is the Big Ten Team Rivalry Show. Good night.
Good night, everybody.